Welcome to Be Social. This is our summer at Be Social program. We are happy to have Ms. Lottie here today.
Hi everyone, my name is Lottie. I'll be here today showing my new book, I Choose Kindness. So I have Deontay here today. He will be our guest speaker. He can introduce himself.
Hi. Hello. My name is Deontay Clemens, and I look forward to talking to you all. Y'all excited to be here with Ms. Lottie? Woo!
Yes. All right, so I do have my notes in my phone, so if you see me looking down, I'm just reading over my notes. First things first, anyone in here like wanting to write or, feel like they want to come up with a book or anything? No? Nobody? Yep. What do you want to write about?
I feel like I want to write about natural science.
Okay, nice. Anyone else? We'll come back to you, okay? All right.
I always had in mind that I would really like to write a novel someday, but I realized that it takes quite a bit to form all of the characters in a book and get it all together. So I rethought things, and I think that probably one day I'd like to write a memoir about myself because I know more about myself than anyone, and they always say, write and speak about what you know.
Okay, that's actually a really good idea. I'll be waiting for it. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys briefly about the writing process. A lot of people always ask me, how do I come up with my characters? How do I come up with these ideas, and etc. So with my characters, if you guys are familiar with my first book, I Decide Who I Become. I have my characters in the likeness of my best friend's daughter and also my sister's daughter, who would be my niece. So in this book, I kind of kept my same characters and I introduced a guy character. Just because of my first book, I heard a lot of, what are you going to do for the boys? Like, we need something for guys. So I said, okay, I listened. I'll give you guys something. So this is what I came up with. But first things first, there are going to be 7 steps of the writing process. So the first thing you want to do is you want to choose a theme or your ideas. So with this book, I choose kindness. Again, I introduced a boy character. So with the boy character, this character is made in the likeness of my other sister's son, who is a 3-year-old boy, even though these kids are a little bit older. But the idea came from him just because he's a little rough. Sometimes he doesn't like to share. He doesn't really play fair all the time. So that's a little bit about like how I actually developed the theme of the story. So again, creating my characters, the same thing. I took the same 2 characters from my last book and I introduced the guy character. I already knew who they were going to be. I knew their names just because I used their same names. I didn't create any new names. And also for the photos, which is very interesting, I actually sent in photos to the illustrator and they kind of make it in the kids' likeness. So these kids kind of look like my family members. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so the third thing we're gonna do is set the scene for the beginning. So with the beginning of the book, I introduced Brian going to a brand new school. He's pretty new, he doesn't have any friends. So, like he's feeling a little bit misplaced. So that's our setting of the story. And then how I developed the middle, pretty much in the middle of the book, you gotta think about, since he really doesn't know anyone, he kind of feels like an outsider. And he's trying to find ways to actually make friends, even though he really doesn't know how to. So how do we build suspense? So we build suspense with him going to the playground and he is like literally playing too rough with the kids. He doesn't want to share, he's pushing people around and things like that. So then we reach our climax. So with the climax of the book, now we have to show Chloe in the book. So these are the characters from our last book. So in that, Chloe is on the playground. So he pushes her off the swing and she scrapes her knee. So we're going with that. We also introduced Tori back to the book. So Tori, if you know from the first book, she was the one who really helped Chloe learn about affirmations and to like believe in herself and things like that. So in this one, Chloe is kind of down and out because she got her knee scraped from Brian playing too rough in the playground. So that's our climax. So then from there, we bring the story to a resolution. So we already know that Chloe has developed these great skills of like believing in herself, wishing the best for everyone from the first book. So on this book, Chloe is able to teach Brian how to be more kind. So they have a conversation and she teaches him how to be more kind. He end up being more kind to people, and that's how we resolve the issues of the book. So yeah, and then she also teaches him a couple affirmations as well. So I wanted to keep the affirmations in the book also. Any questions? No?
No questions, but I have comments.
Okay, comments?
I think the theme is wonderful and much needed by children today because there's so much meanness
Mhm.
in schools, if you will, with the bullying and all. So that whole theme of kindness is very much needed, and I think it will be a blessing to children.
Thank you.
And I concur. That's one of the reasons why I wanted my two great-grandsons to come here and be a part of this reading, is because I think the message is going to resonate with them, and I think it's going to help them greatly move forward.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
Kind of on all of that. I know talking to adults can be easier for adults, but talking to kids can be sometimes more challenging.
Mhm.
How did you pick kindness to be the thing you want to focus on?
Everybody should be kind. I feel like you treat people how you want to be treated. So, like I said, I know personally in my real life, my sister's son, he's a tough guy. My sister used to always say soft hands to him because he was like always hitting people. So I just thought about it like, he probably needs to be a little bit more kind. So, and I've even seen him, we get around new people, he doesn't want to share anything. So it's got to just be a little bit more. Yeah.
How do you feel about the book inspired by him?
Well, he's kind of too little to really understand. Yeah, he's only 3. Yeah, so he really doesn't like no. Chloe, which is my older niece, she actually likes the book. When I first had the book, she took the book to school. She was like, "This is my book that my aunt made." So her teacher actually read it to her classmates. And the same thing with my best friend's daughter. So they all really, really liked the book. They took it to school, and their teacher actually read the book for them. So, yeah. Any other questions
One other
or concerns?
comment.
Uh-huh.
And my great-granddaughter, Trinity, I am getting a book for each of them and their families. And part of what I envisioned was her being able to read to her brother
Oh, yeah.
the story and reiterate the storyline. So
Mhm.
it would be something that they can take home to and remember.
I think so. How old are you? 9. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely. Are you reading to him? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So.
One comment from me as well.
Mhm.
I also love the idea of the book highlighting Black children, because I think it's important that our children see themselves in positive manners and positive light. So I commend you on that, just having something that showcases our children. So that's good. That makes me
Thank
feel
you.
like from all the kids that I know.
Nice.
So what was it, how important or what was the process of getting the illustrator to understand Black characters or Black children?
Oh, that was very important. So, like I looked at the other work, like the body of work that the person done, and I made sure I was like, hey, I want different textures of hair. So, can you show me like braids? Can you show me like twist styles and things like that? Like I actually said, I want the girl to have a twist out. So they sent it to me, and I was like, oh, it looks good, And then when they blend it together, like it looks even better. So yeah, that was very important because I'm big on hair.
Do you plan to kind of take the whole kindness theme and expand, other topics similar to that? Generosity, just other topics or?
Yeah, I do. My next one I thought about is like grateful, but I haven't really developed what I want to do with it yet. But that was definitely like another topic that I can see sprouting from this. And it's like when you start writing, you really don't know like if you want everything to look the same. Because I know with this book, I was really trying to do like a I decide something, and I couldn't get it. I was just like, I decide kindness, that just doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? So I was like, I wanted to stay that way, but at the same time I couldn't. And it was just like, okay, so maybe now with the I choose, I choose to be grateful. I choose gratitude, or, like something like that. I don't really know yet, but I want to try to keep it with the simple terms, because I look on Amazon and I see like all these people, they have like series of books and they all kind of start with the same words, like I am something, I am, so we shall see. It'll come to me.
Now, can I learn about you all? What is your names and how old are y'all? I know y'all are always quiet. This is what you want to be doing on the summertime. So what's your names? How old are y'all? 10? You're turning 10. What's your birthday?
August the 1st.
My birthday is August the 3rd. You have a bright future. What's your name and age?
I'm almost 27.
You're almost 27? You look good for your age. Your age? He's almost 27. He's aging very well. All right, what's your name? 8? Okay, so 8, 27, and 10. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Pleasure to meet you all. All right, so again, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Deontay. I'm very excited to be here. First, to learn more about Be Social. I love the edifice here, so congratulations, gentlemen, on what you all are doing. And to be able to support Lottie. Can we give Lottie another hand? It takes a lot to put these events together, to promote and do all of those things. So I'm glad to be here, and I want to continue to wish my congrats throughout the whole time. All right. So I won't be as long as Lottie, but let's hope I'm as good as she was. All right. So let's be patient. We'll see. So the reason I'm here, I do work with some Black mental health, work with some counselors. So what we do, we have a company called Black Remedy Retreats. So it's a Black mental health company, and what we do, we focused on issues of tragedies, traumas, triggers, and triumphs. So we just recently established ourselves at the top of the year as a group practice. So with our Black therapists, you're able to book counseling, consulting, and coaching sessions with them. So we do that. But the reason this need came about was because we did not notice a lot of spaces where Black people can actually unwind and talk about things that matter. We have a lot of spaces where we can be entertained, a lot of places where we can interact, a lot of places where we can do things, but when we talk about those real things that we're dealing with, sometimes the conversation is still taboo, or we're under-resourced in those areas. So in 2019, me and some therapist friends that I went to college with, we created something called a Black Mental Health Retreat. We focused on those four areas: tragedies, traumas, triggers, and triumphs. And if you live long enough and wake up Black, you're gonna experience all 4 of those at some point. So what we do in these retreats, we have different sessions where we do group sessions where people sit down and they talk about issues guided by our therapists. While it's not exactly a therapy session, it is a group session with therapists providing advice, because sometimes we complain to people that aren't clinically trained or able to give us the needs and the services that we desire. And also there's other barriers to that as well. So we created these spaces. We've done it in Austin. We've done it in Houston as well. So that's the need of it. And I know that means nothing to them, so I'm going to bring it down now. So something that we do that's very important that I learned and I've practiced myself is something called journaling. Journaling is a big thing. We talk about, great thing, you don't have to be as smart as Lottie and be an author to journal. But everybody can journal, starting with wherever you are. So I think sometimes we see journaling in the wrong. So let me just say, journaling is really what we do on Facebook when we shouldn't. Sometimes when we put our businesses out there, things like that. So journaling is something you can do private that sometimes turns your pain or progress from pen to paper. So do you all journal? Do y'all know what diaries are? Do y'all know what those are? You do? You do, kind of? All right, you're 27. Have you ever had a journal? What do you like to write? You draw? You write? You draw? Yeah. That's the other thing. When you journal, it doesn't always have to be words. You may have to draw it out, think it out. You may have some shapes in your mind. So when you're 27 years, you know all of this by now. I will talk about real quick, like 3 things I feel like we could journal more about, so that can be starting points for us. Now let me ask the adults with our grown selves. Does anybody here journal? You do? Okay. So what makes you journal? What brings you to journaling? What centers you with it? Okay.
I just jot down things that I'm grateful for daily, and it's more of gratitude.
And is it something? Why do you do it? If I can ask.
It just helps me to emote and, express my feelings. And like I said, sometimes you don't always have someone to talk to or don't necessarily want to talk to anyone, but you just want to express your feelings. And
Absolutely.
it allows you to do
Yeah. Sometimes you're not in the right headspace yet to tell them either. All right. Anyone else want to share while they're journaling?
Same. I started off journaling talking about bad stuff, not bad stuff, but more like complaining about stuff. And I realized that whenever I complain about stuff, it'll just be the same frequency.
Yeah.
But once I just started talking about gratitude, like I'm so happy right now that I have this, and just like embracing where I am now, it kind of triggers a good thing throughout my day. So like, I love the gratitude.
Yeah. Good thing. Good thing.
And then me, also gratitude. Actually, my aunt, she bought me a gratitude journal. You remember, like, the silver one that she bought me? Probably like 3 years ago. So yeah, like it has like, stuff not just right in there. Like, I am grateful for such and such. And
Yeah.
it's like you can find something simple or big or small and be grateful for every day. So that's kind of just what I journal about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So journaling, I think everyone said you can start where you are. You can now. It's some guys in here. Guys, we got to do better journaling. We can't let the ladies outdo us like that. I know everybody's working. But 3 things I think we can journal about. One thing I'm talking about our feelings, and I know I'm going back to our guys. We don't always know how to express our feelings. We don't know how to always process it. We don't always know where to start. But I think sometimes bringing the pen and pad, just start writing. Look, I'm not feeling good. I had a bad moment today, or whatever. Wherever you are, just putting that on paper. Now, this is a test. Has anyone seen Inside Out 2? You seen Inside Out? You seen Inside Out? You're too old for it. You seen it? You liked it? You did? You seen Inside Out 2? Did y'all see it? Oh, God. Y'all have to go see Inside. Did y'all see Inside Out 1? Okay.
It's the movie about
Yes.
feelings.
Yes. You
I've
all.
not seen it.
Okay. It is a kid. It's kid characters, but it's definitely an adult movie. If you want to see something about Psycho Ed, y'all have to take them with y'all next time y'all go, okay? So it's a Psycho Ed movie. So Disney talks about how this young lady that's growing up, and I thought about when Lottie was talking. In the first movie, she's growing up and she gets displaced. She moves away from home, and all these things, and she's regulating her feelings, learning about herself. The second movie, puberty has hit, and now she has to deal with that and new feelings coming in like anxiety. But one thing I like about the movie that it talks about that every feeling is valid, but every feeling cannot be expressed the same. So I think that's something that's healthy for us to learn, especially when you journal. I've been guilty of journaling because I didn't want to email it out. So let me write it out and come to revisit it. I'm saying, okay, let me see what it is that I'm really feeling. What am I really processing? And one thing that makes me want to journal, people say, why are you mad today? And I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I need to sit down and see what it is before I take my pissy mood. Before I take my mood everywhere I go. So I think that's one thing, starting off with our feelings. Secondly, I would say journal about your future. You can, no matter where you are, you can always write about a better tomorrow, write about a brighter future. If you're 27, you may want to start planning for your 30th birthday now. So like you can journal who you want to be there, how many characters you want and all that. But I think, and it's something that Lottie does, especially with her books, as she said earlier, affirming our future, making those choices, things that you want to do to be better. And just writing in your book, it may even be the future of next year, but just next week I want to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. For the next month, I'm going to cut out soda. So just like small stuff, or I'm going to put the iPad down just a little bit and read a book, okay? So small things like that about our future. And lastly, I would journal about our fun times. If you're an adult, you learn, or I'm learning that the older I get, some things I don't remember all the time because just so many great things can happen, or sometimes your memories get lost. But journal about where was I in that moment, because you'll go back 5 years ago. You're talking about it now, but what were you feeling 5 years ago when you got that first job, or when you went into that interview, or the first international trip you taken and things like that? Sometimes those moments rush past us, and we don't always know how to process it. So those would be the 3 things that I would recommend for journaling. And again, I would say start where you are, no matter your age, stage. If you want to start with gratitude, even things like that. I think we always have something to write down. And I think it'll help us. All right. Any questions, concerns? It's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Sure thing.
That you think men don't journal as much as women? What have been some of their responses?
So I think journaling requires people to sit down and pause. And sometimes that pausing and silence is a lot to kind of deal with. Journaling requires focus. And something I wrestle with, especially, I wouldn't say just as a man, but you can sit down and I can be in the middle of writing and thinking about, okay, I need to do this, I need to go outside and do that, I need to pick this up, I need to call them back. So all those things. And I also think men don't have sometimes a lot of language to express what it is that we want to say that doesn't look like anger. So that's my opinion. Now you may want to ask somebody that has a little bit more years on them, somebody that has more experience.
Well, I would like to share that actually I've been given a couple of journals, in the volunteer work that I do, and we do propose that individuals, the young kids that we constantly mentor, journal their feelings. And I am not a journalist. I do not journal. And I guess the reason why is I do more processing, mentally processing what it is that I feel rather than writing it out. And the other thing is I tend to seek resolution at the moment rather than
Process.
writing it out and leaving it as a question mark.
Sure thing. I can see that.
You brought out some feelings that I was thinking, well, why haven't I ever used the journals that I have? But in time, I'm a pretty busy guy.
Yeah, I get it. And I also think for men, we like to do things that bring like immediate results. We're result oriented, and I think when it comes to journaling, we don't necessarily see how it's helping us because it's something we have to build habits to and build routine. And I think that can be something where we don't see those quick results of, okay, I put it on the paper, now what? I don't think I feel better. So like I think that could be something as well. So there's two generations of answers. So
That's good. Because I give journals for gifts a lot.
Okay.
And I notice the women use them. Like my brothers, they'll use them for phone books or, to do this.
they get used.
They get used just in a different way.
Mine is passwords. Passwords I can't remember. I write them in the journal and a lot of them forget.
No, I think that's a great question. Thank you for asking. All right.
Okay, so now we're gonna do the book read. You want to help me read? You do? Oh, good. Let's get 2 chairs. You guys, so today we are going to read my new book, I Choose Kindness. And I have dedicated this book to my family and friends. A new year, a brand new school. In walks Brian, ready to rule. In a school also different and new, a classroom full of faces, none that Brian knew.
That's the classroom filled with laughter. Felt all alone. No friends to play with. No friends of his own.
I'll join in on the fun, Brian thought with a smile, but making new friends might take a little while.
Off to recess, a time for fun, Brian sat with his back facing the sun. Still no friends, not even at the playground. Brian began to frown.
Instead of being kind, Brian picked at his peers and made them feel small.
Playing too rough with no care or worry. In this new school, Brian struggled to find his place.
The next day in his rough and careless play, Brian pushed Chloe and on her knee grew a scrape.
Tori rushed over to help Chloe off the ground. Chloe was hurt. Her joyful spirit was now turned upside down.
Tori spoke softly, using words kind and true, Let's lift each other, that's what friends do. Brian watched closely, his heart filled with shame. He realized his actions were to blame.
Brian apologized and Chloe forgave him. With her heart pure and clear, Chloe said, I'll teach you to be kind and have no fear.
Making new friends can be difficult. Remember to always be kind and caring in your own special way. Spread love and joy. That'll make anyone's day.
Brian listened to her words. He wanted to change his unfriendly ways.
He turned to Chloe with hope in his eyes. Teach me to be kind. Make my heart wise.
Chloe smiled and took Brian's hand. Positive affirmations are the key. Repeat after me. Kindness and love are the choices of my heart.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys got to repeat after us. So can you just do the last affirmation part? So repeat after us.
Kindness and love are the choices of my heart.
Kindness and love are the choices of my heart.
I believe in myself. I am smart.
I believe in myself, I am smart.
I am worthy of friendship. Yes, it's true.
I am worthy of friendship, yes, it's true.
I am proud of myself. My heart made new.
I am proud of myself, my heart made new.
From that day forward, a friendship grew. Brian and Chloe, the fantastic team.
The lesson learned so simple and clear. In kindness and love, there is nothing to fear.
Let's all be like Brian. Let our house take flight. With kindness and love, everything is just right.
The end. Did you like the book? Huh? Yeah. Good job. Thank you.
You gonna be nice? You gonna choose kindness? All right.
Any questions? Did y'all enjoy the book? The adults? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Great job, Trinity.
Yeah, great job. We also have a children's activity book. This is like 140 pages of things to keep you busy during the summer. But it's all very simple and very, easy to do. So we have that as well. Deontay, one last thing. I'm just saying thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Thank
It's
you.
not a whole lot of, the journals, I'll put that in there. Then also, okay, you're gonna buy your book. Okay, that's fine. I appreciate it. I choose kindness.